Welcome back to another episode of the Up North Journal, everybody. I'm your host, Mike Adams, and as always, my co-host with me tonight is...
The other Mike Adams. Hey, what's up?
Hey, just like to remind everybody, we are part of the Outdoor Radio Network, and you can also find our show over at MichiganHuntingToday.com, right for the website over there underneath the name Hooks and Bullets. So cruise over to that website, MichiganHuntingToday.com, and you can check a little bit of what we're writing about, and you can check out the podcast over there if you'd like. While you're cruising through the internet, you can listen to us at work.
Yeah.
Although don't get caught by your boss. I don't advocate taking it easy at work, but if you get the opportunity, you can turn us on there and listen to what we got to say. So.
Also depends on what kind of job you have.
That's true, too. Or you don't want to do it at school while you're on the computers there at school. Don't get in trouble with your teachers.
Yeah.
So, now, we'll get into the show here a little bit today, Michael. We had kind of a laid-back week here in Michigan. At least you and I did. You kind of wrapping things up at school almost towards the end of the school year this year.
Yeah, actually I got about...
one more full week?
Yeah, one more full week and then a day and a half.
So you're close to putting some time on the water now instead of time in the books, hopefully. And are you going to pass?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the important thing. Make sure you're going to get on to the next...
I studied for all my final tests and stuff.
Well, good. We get that out of the way, and then it's onward and upward. This week, I got back into my outdoor construction work pretty heavily and didn't get to spend as much time doing what I really wanted to do as I would have liked. But with that being said, there are a couple of things that we did get into this week. Nothing really heavy outdoors. But right up front, I do want to mention one thing that's upcoming, and it really only pertains to the guys here in mid-Michigan, and sorry for those of you out of state or out of the area that can't attend this event, but I do want to make a mention that this coming Saturday, or actually Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which will be June 6th, 7th, and 8th, at the Gander Mountain store in Lansing, is holding a big, huge archery-only event. They're going to have a free 3D shoot there. They've got over 100 vendors in the archery industry that are going to be there, set up and showing their products, displaying things, and you get a chance to talk with the field reps or whatever from that company that you're interested in, and get a chance to check out maybe some of their new products or check out something you've been interested in and ask questions, which is kind of cool, getting to meet the factory reps right up front. Also, they're going to have a big sale. They're going to have a big blowout on archery equipment. So if you need something, go over and check it out. If you're looking for a new bow, might be a time to go check that out. If you're looking for some arrows or maybe some broadheads or what have you.
Fletchings, anything.
Anything to do with archery or archery hunting, it's going to be there. So get over there and check that out if you get the opportunity. And if you're unsure of how to get there or where it's at, you can go to my website, upnorthjournal.com, and right there on the front page is everything laid out for you. It's got it all spelled out, so you can go check it out.
So what are they doing, shutting down the whole store and stuff?
I think it's going to be an outside event, I believe. I'm pretty sure it's all outside.
Yeah, I was like, they must have a big store then.
Yeah, no, it's going to be all outside from my understanding. So they say rain or shine, but we're going to be there Saturday. If any of you guys who are listening to the show happen to be there, look for Little Mike, my other guy that works with me, Kevin Hutchings, or myself. We're going to be in our Up North Journal shirts and hats, so it'll be really easy to spot. So just look for Up North Journal team. We'll be cruising around. And for those of you who can't attend the event, we're going to be there with our cameras in hand. We're going to be there with our voice recorders in hand. And I'm hoping to shoot some interviews, talk with some of these reps, and ask some questions that you guys might be interested in. And if we get enough of these, what I'd like to do is string them out, do an interview or two every week, and hopefully we get enough of them that will lead right up into bow season. So kind of getting us into that bow groove or that bow mood coming up here. Because, right now is the time you need to be getting out and start shooting, getting that practice regime down. We covered this last year when we first started our podcast here. That was kind of where we were at. We were in turkey hunting mode, and then we slipped right into a little bit of fishing and practicing for bow season. And that's exactly where we're at right now. So turkey season is behind us. Actually, yesterday was the last day.
Yeah.
And we didn't go out. I didn't say we didn't get to, it was just we didn't go out. I got up yesterday morning, got up at 4 in the morning, wind was blowing pretty good, looked at the forecast, and the forecast was not good, 20 to 30 mile an hour winds, and just kind of laid low, and what happens? The wind comes down, and it turns out to be a nice morning. But the wind did pick up later. I mean, it blew pretty hard here. So our buddy Kevin that is with us here on the Up North Journal team, he was out, and they saw one hen that morning. So pretty uneventful morning for him as well. Kind of that sums up the whole story for our turkey season. Uneventful. It was a hard season. We just didn't see the birds like we did last year. I don't know why.
We heard them, though.
We heard them, just didn't get them to come in. I don't know. I don't know.
Hearing's always fun, too.
It's fun, but it's a lot more fun to see them, you know. When you get one to dance in front of you real close. And
2 feet away from you.
Then if you can put one down, that's even better. But I just got an email from our good buddy Jim Miller, the president of the Flint River chapter of the NWTF, the club that I belong to. And he actually just took his bird yesterday. I think it was yesterday or this morning, one or the other. So, you know, he's been out hunting them hard all season long, and he finally got his bird here on the last weekend.
Is that the one I forwarded to you?
Yeah.
Actually,
it wouldn't have been today. It had to have been yesterday because yesterday was the last day of the season. So.
Well, yeah, I got the email yesterday.
Okay, I think it was yesterday morning then because I didn't see the email till today. But
keep getting your stuff.
Yeah, I don't know why. Some reason he must have your email address instead of mine. I don't know.
He sends it to MikeAdams@upnorthjournal.com.
I don't know. For whatever reason, you're getting it, but we'll get it straightened out. So anyway, kind of talking. I want to backtrack just a little bit here on the archery deal. Next weekend, you know, we're really pumped about that. We got some things in the works, hopefully, with Gander Mountain. We're going to go talk to the manager up there, and hopefully there's a couple of things that we're going to discuss with him, and we might be able to bring you here to the Up North Journal podcast through the summer here. One thing that we're really working on hard and strong here, we got 2 different field tests that we're wanting to conduct, and one of them is definitely in the bag. We've already got this one ready and set to go, and that's the broadhead field test that we're going to do. We're going to do a range test and also put them out in the field, and throughout the year, hopefully, when we arrow some animals, that we'll be able to bring those results to you. But we're hoping to start conducting our field test by July 12th, so we're a little over a month away. We've got product in-house here, ready to go. We've got Grim Reaper, we've got Muzzy, and we got some G5 product that we're going to put out there. And I also got a contact with American Broadhead. And hopefully I'm going to meet that field rep this week at the archery event. And hopefully there will be some other, matter of fact, I know there's going to be other broadhead companies represented at this event. And hopefully we're going to get them to get on board with us also and submit some product to put into the test and see how it compares to the rest of it. So
are them the American Broadhead ones? Are them like the little short, stubby ones?
You know, I've seen so much stuff recently. I honestly, I can't even say. I don't know, and I honestly don't remember. It's just been so much stuff coming here lately, and so many things we've been working on. I've seen a lot of different stuff out there. A lot of people we wrote. So I'm sure once we get those, we'll know.
Yeah, them Grim Reapers look nasty.
The Grim Reapers are the mechanical. That's the mechanical razor tips. And we've got 2 packages of them that we're going to put out there as well. Like I said, we got the from G5. We got the Montec. We got the Montec preseason, and we got the Strikers and the Striker Magnums. And then from Muzzy, we got the MX3s and MX4s, as well as the zero gravity arrow rests that we're going to field test for them. So got a lot of stuff. Yeah. But it doesn't end there. The other part that we're wanting to do is we're wanting to get together and do a youth bow field test. We want to get some youth bows in. We got 5 kids that we want to put some bows in their hands, and we want an honest opinion on the range of how well and how comfortable these bows are in the hands of youth, as well as how cost-effective are they, what kind of range do they have as far as being able to adapt to a growing child or a growing youth, because it's got to have some kind of range built into it because kids grow so fast.
Like me.
Exactly. You know, you don't want to lay out a bunch of money for a bow and then 3 or 4 months later, when it comes time for hunting season, they've already outgrown it, and there's no adjustability built into it.
Yeah, it's kind of like the one you gave me.
Yeah, you're already at the limits of that bow. So we've got to do something here real soon. But we also want to see how hard these things are to adjust. Like when you get them in hand and the child starts to grow and they've got to be adjusted, is it something that's fairly easy for the parent to do? How flexible are they as far as being able to adjust these things? So we've never really seen any studies done on this or any field tests done, so who knows? Up in our journal team may be the first. We've got one major bow company on board already, and hopefully by talking with some of the other reps this weekend that we'll have 2 or 3, maybe 4 more come on board. So we're really excited to see this happening, and we'll just have to wait till next week's show and actually let you know where we stand with all that. But July 12th is when we want to start doing our testing and getting down and dirty with this stuff and putting some arrows in some targets and checking things out. So now, that's our archery stuff.
Yeah.
So where do you want to go from here? Something else that we've been talking about lately is doing a little bit of reloading. Did we mention that on the show here in the last week or so?
Nope.
I don't think we did. I ordered a few things for some reloading, and those came in this week. And we're going to start with our 22 Hornet. And just because that's my favorite gun to shoot, number one. But it's also the price of the ammunition for that gun has went up almost 50% here in the last 3 or 4 years. A good quality box of ammunition for 50 rounds costs almost $50. When I first bought that gun, it was less than $25 a box for 50 rounds. So we've got everything ready to go, and hopefully in the next week, 2, 3 weeks, maybe before we start the bow testing, that we'll get this going, and we're going to bring some reports on that, shoot a little bit of video, and put that up on the internet also. It's something totally new to me and you as well, so we're going to try to learn a little bit with our good friend Kevin Hutchings, and he's going to take us through the steps and show us how to do all this stuff and try to save a little bit of money, hopefully, too. So, but, we talked about turkey season being over. I think it might be a good time to kind of look back at the whole season, the whole hunting season. Here in Michigan, they kind of count it like small game season. They call it the 2007-2008 license you buy. And now we're into the 2008-2009 license year. And once that last hunt is over, I consider turkey season the end of the year, kind of, for hunting.
Yeah.
Well, looking back, what do you think? I mean, what was your whole hunting experience like this year? Just looking back at all of it, everything.
I think it was pretty good. Probably my favorite thing was probably duck season.
Ducks and waterfowl season?
Yeah. Yeah, and then probably deer season before second, and then just turkey as third. Yeah. Turkey season really didn't unfold as how I thought it was going to unfold this year.
Yeah, it didn't for me either. I don't know why. I think, we mentioned in one of the shows before, I think we put so much effort into that Ohio turkey hunt that we kind of forgot about Michigan. Yeah. And that kind of got left on the back burner, and then when it came time to do it,
we weren't ready.
We really weren't ready for it like we should have been. Looking back, I got to try waterfowl hunting for the first time. You introduced me to that. And I had a lot of fun with that, but it interfered with my bow hunting. And that's where my passion's at. I really love to bow hunt. I probably would rather bow hunt than rifle hunt any time of the year. It's just because I like that up close and personal feel of bow hunting and archery season. And it's just so much more demanding and so much more challenging to bow hunt than it is to rifle hunt. I mean, I don't want to knock rifle hunting, and I don't want to downplay it at all. But, generally, if you can aim a gun and you can get an animal in front of you, most people can make that shot. When it comes to archery, you got to get that animal extremely close to you. You got to get it within close range to be able to take it, and not everybody can do that. And truth be known, I've never harvested an animal with a bow yet, for whatever reason.
I almost did.
How's that?
That 4-point.
You didn't even draw back on that 4-point.
I had halfway, but then it saw me, and plus I didn't know how far it was.
Yeah, well, that's all part of learning, though. So you learn something, and that's the important thing. You don't have to bring game home every time to have a successful hunt. So if you can look back at the season as a whole, and you can look at your mistakes, and you can take those and learn from them and incorporate them into your knowledge base for next year, it's been a good year. I mean, if you've learned something from last year and you take it with you to the field from now on, then it was a good season, and that's the way I look at it. I don't look necessarily at the number of animals harvested as being successful or unsuccessful. I didn't take a deer this year. Matter of fact, I only seen one buck during rifle season, and that was a spike-horn. I mean, I was very disappointed, very, very disappointed in our rifle firearms season here in Michigan this year. It just didn't pan out to what it could have been or should have been. And there's other reasons for that I've talked about before, if you listen to some of the past episodes, as to why I think that happened. Now, some other things I got to do this year for the first time, and you did as well. We got to go rabbit hunting. I've never rabbit hunted, I mean, I walked through a field when I was a kid, but I mean, I'd never taken a rabbit, That was the first actual quote-unquote rabbit hunt that I'd been on.
Rabbit drive. Yeah,
so that was a lot of fun. We got to share that with our family, and that was a good time right around Christmas. This year, I got to take my first coyote, which she's sitting right there in the corner looking at us.
Keep forgetting that thing's there.
So that was that's what I consider my best hunt of the year. That was my best favorite thing that happened this year in the field, was being able to take a coyote. I've always wanted to. I hunted seriously really hard about 2 years ago for coyote and never ever saw one. We were way up where we deer hunt, and they just weren't in the area at that time I was there. I got to bear hunt last year. I put more time in stand bear hunting last year in 5 days than I probably put in all of deer season, archery season, just because it was so busy. But I took that 5 days off and got to go bear hunting. So that's the first time I ever bear hunted for bear. Or first time I ever bow hunted for bear. First time I ever bear hunted for bear, yeah, okay. No, it was the first time I ever bow hunted for bear. It was really intense. I only seen one bear, but when I saw it, man, it was like right there. It came in right under my stand. Never did get to pull the shot off because it never did get into a shooting position. But, how many people can say they're 15 feet right directly above a black bear, and the black bear doesn't even know you're there?
Public can.
Well, yeah. Yeah, my dad, he was lucky enough to take one. So, we look back, it was a good season. I did see a lot of game. I took my first duck last year. I missed a couple geese. How, I don't know, but I did. So I got a woodchuck here a couple weeks ago. And
that's now on my wall.
That's now on your wall, and you'll be bringing that up in Mikey's game bag later. And, if you look back at the whole season, we did a lot. We did a tremendous amount of hunting and fishing in the last year, more than I've ever done. And I got you to thank for that, because without you and the rest of the kids, I probably wouldn't have got out nowhere near as much as what I have in this last year. So for me, 2007, 2008, we can officially close the books on now as far as hunting goes. And for me, it was a tremendous season.
Yeah.
So you got anything you want to add to that?
I'd say my favorite part was probably getting my first duck, too.
First duck?
Actually my first goose, because that was what I got first.
Yeah, you took the goose in the early goose season. Second day out.
Yeah.
Yep, second day out, and then you got your first duck on the first day of youth waterfowl hunting season.
Next day.
And you got one the next day. Yep. So that was all good. Yeah. So that was all good, and you got to see 2 bucks up close this year.
Yeah, I got to see that spike horn, and then I got to see that 4-point.
So you had
that
2.
Spike was like right under my tree stand too.
And that's the closest you've ever been to deer, right?
Yeah.
So.
Well, not in an enclosed building like the shooting shacks.
Right. But I mean, out in the open.
Yeah.
Up close and personal.
Right under me.
Right there. So that's that's a win-win right there. I mean, when you get animals that close and they don't spot you, that's you're doing something right. Yeah, I think this year for 2007, 2008 hunting season, we were very fortunate. We didn't harvest as many animals as we'd like to have, but we had a good time, and that's what it's all about. We made memories. So I think we can kind of, like I said, we can close the books on it now. We can start getting ready for 2008, 2009, and get out there and practice and get ready. I mean, what more can you ask for?
Practice my fly casting.
Yeah, you need to get that thing out and start doing it. You went out fishing today.
Yeah, I went out fishing with my friends, Michael and Gregory. We went out.
Yeah, how'd you guys do?
We've caught, I'd say altogether we probably caught about 20.
Yeah, any keepers?
Yeah, we caught keepers, but they didn't want to bother with them.
So you just catch and release?
Yeah, we caught a few bigger than my hand.
Panfish?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I caught a little bass, probably about 4 inches long, but he was fat.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And you seen some carp?
Yeah, we actually saw one carp up close. There was a guy, a foreigner. He didn't speak that much English. He had like this little skinny rod, and it went right underneath his bait, and it pulled his rod. And he saw it, and he's like, "Big fish, big fish." Yeah, we saw a whole bunch of them.
Seen some carp. You should have had your bow with and did some bow fishing. And actually, we had actually talked about doing that last night. It just didn't. Yeah. We didn't have our gear ready in time, and there was no way we were going to get out in time to get that done. But that's something we can look forward to here in the summer that we're going to get out and try and do.
Also saw lots of ducks out there today.
Yeah.
Saw a few pintails.
A lot of goslings and ducklings around right now.
Yeah, actually, we saw a whole bunch of them right next to where we were fishing at.
And speaking of waterfowl, stay tuned at the end of the show. I've got some exciting news that I want to bring up at the end of the show about waterfowl. So let's go ahead and take our break, Michael. There's something I want to go over that I got in a discussion this week with a couple different guys, and I'd like to kind of delve into that a little bit. So let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this message.
If you're looking for the best in outdoor hunting and fishing podcasts, look no further than the Outdoor Radio Network. Each week we have dozens of podcasts devoted to outdoor sports, with shows like On the Water with Bob Murray, Bass Champ Journal, Surf and Shore Fishing, just to name a few. Check out all outdoor podcasts on the OutdoorRadioNetwork.com.
Welcome back. And as I said before we went to the break, Michael, I had some discussions with some people this week on a couple different issues. One was regarding an email, and I actually posted on the blog site, and it's about the whole thing's going to revolve. This discussion is going to revolve around hunting ethics, the way we're perceived, and the things we can do to change that. And the way I want to get into this is something that actually you told me happened to you at school here a couple weeks ago. That I'm not going to mention any names because I don't know the kid who said this, but basically somebody at the school harvested an extra turkey this year on somebody else's tag.
Yeah. And
what was your reaction?
That is the first thing that popped in my mind was violating.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah, you already got this preconceived idea in your head that, number one, it's wrong. Mm-hmm. Okay, even though it was a tag that was legally obtained, but it wasn't legally used by somebody.
Yeah, I think it was his dad's.
Okay, well, for whatever the reason was. And then people going around bragging about it. You know, that gives all kinds of bad images about hunters, number one. Everybody that heard him is going to form an opinion. You already had an opinion as a hunter, but what I'm worried about more is about the people who don't hunt, that may form an opinion, a negative opinion about all hunters, okay? The way we're viewed in public. And the reason I bring this up is we talked this week, earlier this week, I talked to a guy out west, another podcaster, one of the guys from Bowcast. We talked back and forth. We had a good conversation for probably hour and a half. And a lot of it, the discussion, not a lot, but some of the discussion revolved around talking about the way the hunting industry perceives hunters and the way hunters, they correspond back and forth to the hunting industry and the way people in society kind of look at us. Some people look at game laws like they're above them, like they don't need to follow those rules, and they may be from another place where game rules are different, where they feel they've been raised a certain way. Okay, they follow certain laws there, so when they come to our area, our state, or our country, they feel there's no need to follow them. This is the way I've hunted, and this is the way I'm always going to hunt. You know what I'm saying? They get these preconceived notions. Or we have these old school style hunters, like where we talk about sharing tags, sharing kill tags, or party style hunting, where, you get a bunch of tags and you just go in and everybody does what they need to do, and then you just fill out the tags and you're all done. Kind of like what the kid did that you were talking about, using somebody else's tag. We all know people like that. Okay? We all know people who do that kind of stuff. It's our responsibility as hunters and as outdoorsmen and as fishermen to make sure that we speak up and say something to those people. We need to speak out and say, hey, you know what? We have laws for a reason. If we don't adhere to the laws or to the rules, we're not going to have anything to hunt and fish in years to come. Everything has a trickle-down effect. We take an extra bird here, take an extra bird there. Pretty soon, if everybody does that, there's no more birds. The population declines and it crashes. There's always a consequence to the things that we do, whether it be small or a huge thing that we do. So we need to think about those things. And it goes back to what other people think about us. And that's what I worry about. We have this negative impact, or we have this negative view of people who look at us and say, hunters are bad. We have enough people out there, the antis, that are always trying to hammer us and take things away from us. And it's high time that we, as hunters and fishermen and outdoorsmen, step up to the plate and start showing that we are good people, that we're conscientious, and that we respect the law, number one, and that we respect the animals that we're harvesting, number two. Okay? We need to get in the forefront of that. And I recently read today on another blog site, a guy here in Michigan writes, Simply Outdoors, and he was stating that there was a challenge by their blogging group. What can we do to positively impact and influence non-hunters? Okay, and what can we do to step up to the plate and show people that we're good guys, and good gals, that we know what we're doing, and that we're safe, number one, and we respect the environment and all that. And he came up with a great idea that, PETA and Humane Society of the United States, they've all got these national spokespeople who will step up and put out these commercial announcements, downplaying hunting, downplaying fishing, downplaying fur harvesting, like, don't wear fur coats. Recently, Paul McCartney, one of the singers from the Beatles, said that he's now taking up a fight against fishing because he doesn't want to see people murdering fish. It's ridiculous. So why don't we, as hunters and fishermen in our groups, stand up and get some of the better-known people in Hollywood to put public service announcements out in our behalf? I mean, step and say, Hunters of America contribute to the so much money to the economy of this state. The hunters of this state contributed so much money to maintain the habitat and enrich the habitat of this area. You know what I'm saying? Putting money back in and showing the positive things we do. And we got to get in the forefront and just put our message out there.
I think a good one for that would be Ted Nugent.
Well, Ted, he is. He's very good about that. But Ted Nugent is really outspoken, and people either love him or hate him. Like Tim Allen, he does the thing here in Michigan, tourism for Michigan. Explore Michigan. You've seen the commercials here on TV. Somebody like that. Somebody that everybody knows and that everybody loves. And that's the type of people we need to get out there and get our message out. People who are pro-hunting that really don't speak out. We need those people to speak out. Or maybe even get our legislators and our governors of our states to do public service announcements.
Or kids.
I mean, if we had the governor of Michigan step up and say how much money that the hunters and the fishermen of Michigan put back into the economy here and how much we contribute to the conservation effort of maintaining the habitat, maintaining the herds and the schools of fish and the things that we've got here and contributing back to the resources, that would go a long way here in our state. One thing that I read this week from the National Shooting Sports Foundation, out east, they had what was called a Northeast Legislator Day at the Range. This was back a week ago or so. And basically, they took legislators from 3 different states, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire. They took them out to the gun range and said, hey, come out and join us, and we're going to show you how much fun we have at the shooting range. And they took them out there, and they give them different guns to shoot, shotguns, rifles, pistols, took them out to the target range, took them out to the clay range, the sporting clays, trap field, and just let them have fun, and showed legislators that had not had any experience with firearms just how much fun they could have and how safe it is to help promote it. And that's the things that we need to do, and that's kind of where I was going with this. Just getting our government involved in showing that we can do things and have fun and how much good we can do. I don't know, what do you think?
I think it's a good idea to have something like that do a public service announcement.
Well, from your standpoint as a youth, and I don't mean to downplay youth, I mean, you're almost 14 now, for goodness sakes, but what do you think you could do, or your friends could do, or your school could do to help promote hunting, fishing, shooting, anything like that, archery?
I think that it could, because I got several hunters at my school, teachers.
Mm-hmm.
As teachers, I got actually 3
okay.
that hunt. And one thing I think they could do is that actually we were talking about was an archery thing. Archery
in the school, the National Archery in the School program, yeah.
That, or get magazines and different kind of hunting magazines and stuff.
Okay, so you're saying the library doesn't have a lot of hunting resources?
No.
Or magazines to read?
Nope, I haven't seen any hunting things in there, but I have seen Jacob bring home some hunting books from his library.
Okay, in the elementary school.
But I was looking through a magazine at our school, and I actually found a PETA ad.
Yeah, I remember you told me that.
Yeah, I ripped it out.
Well, you're not supposed to rip stuff out of books, but I can understand how you felt. I wonder if you could approach the school and ask if you could donate a magazine subscription to the school library, if you could, if we could pay for it and have it sent to the school for the school library. I wonder if they'd let us do that. Like maybe a Field and Stream or American Rifleman or anything like that. We got the turkey call that we get from the NWTF or North American Game Hunter magazine, any of that stuff. I wonder if we could do that, and maybe, guys out there, that's a challenge to you right now. Any of you guys out there got kids in school, get a hold of your school and find out if you can subscribe to a magazine and have it sent to the school. I mean, $20, $30 a year. Heck, that's nothing. That's a drop in the bucket to put materials into the kids' hands that they can experience and read about our great pastime of hunting, fishing, backpacking, canoeing, camping, whatever it is.
Or I'm thinking maybe even if you contacted the NRA and said to help promote shooting and stuff, maybe they might even donate a subscription.
Yeah, like Insight. Matter of fact, we just got your first magazine.
Yeah.
Michael signed up as
a
junior member of the NRA here about a month ago, and he just got his first magazine. It's called NRA Insights for young shooters. And, I mean, it's not a whole lot here. It's like 24 pages, Not really any advertisements in it. It's all about hunting and shooting type sports and things like that. Actually, there is an ad in here for a rifle. But it talks about a fun shoot in Kansas. Got quick little hits here of different things that kids are doing throughout the United States. Talks about ticks, how to treat a tick bite, how to keep mosquitoes away from you, things that you would deal with out in the woods. Talks about responsible firearm handling and shooting. Talks about target shooting. Here's one in here on target shooting, silhouette targets. And let's see, there's one in here on archery. I mean, the NRA has got something on archery. How cool is that? I mean, they're specifically for basically firearms.
And notice there's a girl shooting the bow.
It's a girl shooting the bow, how to set up your bow. The basics of a compound bow. Here's one on a new camo patterned Savage 22 rifle. Goes through that and talks about it. And then there's one about a girl who shoots. Says that I shoot like a girl,
It's a club.
So, I mean, it's just a neat little magazine that's got a lot of fun facts in it that kids could get, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's not promoting a product. It's promoting a heritage. So,
I wonder if the school could sign up for an NRA membership.
How cool would that be? That'd be a first, I would think.
I'd take the sticker and have them put them in the office window.
Yeah, I support the NRA. That would be funny. But, these are just some ideas we're throwing out there that, we need to hit the mainstream people with these ideas. PETA and Humane Society of the United States, that's what they do. They're in the mainstream media every day, and they're hitting people right between the eyes with all this garbage. So, and the only way to counteract it is to do the same thing. So, I challenge everybody out there to get a hold of your school and find out if you can send a subscription, and send one to the elementary school, and then if you've got enough resources where you can send another one, send one to the high school. But the younger, the better. That's where we need to catch these kids. Once kids get to be 14 years old, they say they've already formed their opinions about hunting and fishing and what they're going to do in life as far as that avenue. They say if we don't catch them young, then it's going to be a lot harder. So start with elementary schools. Start with something real simple like Field and Stream. Something you don't want to send them something that's got how to gut a deer in it. You don't want anything graphic. So keep it simple and give them something good. Maybe it's a canoeing magazine that you subscribe to, or maybe it's a camping magazine, or backpacking, anything like that has to do with the outdoors. See what you can do with the schools and help them out. And I'm sure if they allow it, they'd really appreciate getting more reading material for kids. So, anything you want to add to that?
No, but there is something, they have like this blocking thing at school, and they won't let you go. Like, I tried going to a hunting website, and it said it wouldn't let me go to it because of weapons.
Well, that's
but it
something.
was like an archery website.
But archery's still a weapon, and that's just part of the nature of the things we have to deal with nowadays in the schools. It's part of the problems that we've got with our society and the way they perceive things. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Everybody's so worried about litigation and liability now that everything is so sanitary and washed down that you don't get to experience a lot now as kids. You don't get to get out there and get into things and enjoy things like I did when I was a kid. You really don't. It's sad. It really is sad.
I seriously doubt that a kid would pull a Virginia Tech with a bow.
I doubt it too, but the school has to look out for their liability, and that's where it's all at right now. And like I said, it's sad, but that's. I want to go over a quick piece of news this week that you brought that up that I was going to do later, but I don't remember what school it was, but an elementary school here in the United States, a kid he went to a Memorial Day celebration last Monday, and his grandfather was in the service, his dad was in the service, and when they were doing their march during the parade, they did a gun salute, firing blanks off, rifles, parade rifles, and he had 2 empty cartridge shells that his grandfather gave him, okay? And the kid thought the world of him. I'm talking elementary school, little kids. He left one at home, and the other one wound up in his pocket. He went to school, and he was sitting there eating lunch, and he was playing with it. He wasn't doing anything wrong. He was just had it in his hand, and he was looking at it, and one of the school officials, seen him with it. This kid got suspended for 5 days. He got expelled for 5 days for having a empty brass hull in his hand because it was quote-unquote weapons paraphernalia. We're talking, I don't know what grade, 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade. It's just ridiculous, the mindset of officials we have these days. It just blows my mind that we're so scared and we're so paranoid that we want to lock ourselves in a box and not see the light of day because we're afraid of what might be out there. It's just ridiculous.
One thing that is kind of awkward about my school actually is in their manual thing, it has like things you can't bring to school. It says like squirt guns, and it says empty shotgun shell hulls. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't say anything about regular shotgun shell hulls.
Well, I think that's implied.
Yeah.
But yet still you can carry a pencil around and you can stab somebody with it.
Yeah.
That's how stupid we're getting nowadays. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll step outside for a second. We'll be right back after this.
If you're looking for the best in outdoor hunting and fishing podcasts, look no further than the Outdoor Radio Network. Each week we have dozens of podcasts devoted to outdoor sports, with shows like On the Water with Bob Murray, Bass Champ Journal, Surf and Shore Fishing, just to name a few. Check out all outdoor podcasts on the OutdoorRadioNetwork.com.
Welcome back, everybody. And right before we went to break, I told you that we didn't know where that school was. Well, I looked it up while we were in the break. And it comes from the town called Winchendon. How is that? Winchendon, Winchendon, Massachusetts. And that was the district or the town where this happened at. But the school, let me see if I can get the name of the school here real quick. The name of the school was Toy Town Elementary School. And it was a fourth grader that brought the empty rifle cartridge or brass case to school. So, but that's what that was all about.
Yeah, they have contacts.
Contacts? Oh, yeah. Strange you ask. If you would like to email and voice your displeasure, by all means do so. And the link for this is www.winchendon, WINCHENDON.mec.edu, and that takes you to I guess it's their school's website, and you can find the Toy Town Elementary School's website there and voice your displeasure. And they also have a phone number to the superintendent of the schools, who was obviously the one who headed up the expulsion of this fourth grade student. And that phone number is 978-297-0031. And by all means, you can go and call. The superintendent of the school is Brooke Clenchy. What a name. Maybe she's clenching the cartridge in her hands and hanging on to it, because the kid didn't get it back either. They kept it and confiscated it.
That's sad.
So, yeah, fourth grader that had his grandfather's shell from the parade, and he was, holding it, looking at it, and not doing anything with it. It wasn't loaded. It was a spent cartridge. There was no powder in it. There was no bullet in it. There was no nothing. It was an empty hull. So, anyway, maybe she's a reloader. Maybe that's why she was saving it. She wanted to reload it. Maybe that's what it all boiled down to. I don't know. So, well, now let's get into a little bit of news. You remember, I don't know if it was last week before last, we talked about the state of Michigan DNR, who put out that press release talking about leaving young animals alone, leave them in the wild, don't pick them up, make pets of them.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a good instance right here of a reason why you should do that. This happened in South Carolina, actually Hilton Head, South Carolina. A family was on vacation, and they found a baby raccoon. Okay, nice, cute, cuddly little critter. Oh, well, we're going to take it home, make a pet out of it, okay? It's sitting there, no mama around.
Garbage eating pet.
So they took it home, and they proceeded to show it off to everybody in the family in the neighborhood. And they showed it off to 36 different people who just happened to have 20 pets amongst them. Guess what the raccoon had?
Huh.
Rabies. Some of these people hand-fed it, put their finger in its mouth. Some people kissed the raccoon. And one way rabies is transmitted between animals or people is by saliva. Okay? So they've got the fingers in the coon's mouth when they're feeding it. They're kissing on the raccoon. They're in the same general area. Then they're amongst other people.
Should have bit him.
Well, it could have. Now, here's the deal. This raccoon was a 3-week-old baby raccoon, by the way. Like I said, leave the little ones alone. But the state of South Carolina had to pick up the bill to take care of all this. And it was the Department of Health and Environmental Control did an investigation to find out how many people had been around this raccoon, how many animals had been around the raccoon. And they found that 24 of the 36 people that was around this raccoon had to have rabies shots. Okay, so the county or the state had to pick up the cost of that, plus 20 of the pets had to be quarantined. 14 of those had to be have rabies vaccinations and booster shots. Okay, the grand total of all this, $43,028.50. and the taxpayers of the great state of South Carolina got to pay for this. So let that be a lesson to you. Leave the critters in the woods.
They have to pay for it, too?
No, the state paid for it. They did the investigation, then they had to do all the vaccinations, and then the pets things. For whatever reason, I don't know why, but the state picked it all up, luckily. Because those rabies shots, a series of rabies shots is like $1,000. So there's 24, no, they said $36,000. It must have been way over $1,000, almost $1,500 for a series of rabies vaccinations. So 24 times 1,500, that's about $36,000 plus the investigation. It came to over $43,000 because somebody had to pick up a baby raccoon and wouldn't leave it alone.
I wonder what they did with the coon.
Probably euthanized it, I would imagine. So, now, speaking of animals, got one other piece of information here. This is from the NRA's website. State of Wyoming, this year, starting October 1st, is going to have their first wolf hunt in years. As everybody knows, the wolf was delisted this year off the endangered species list, off the threatened species list, actually, I believe. May be wrong on that, but I think it's off the threatened species. And up in the northwestern part of Wyoming, there's 4 different game management areas up there, and they're going to allow 25 wolves, gray wolves, to be harvested underneath the state licensing system. If you're a state resident, it's going to cost $15 for a license, and if you're not a state resident, it'll cost you $150.
It's pretty cheap.
Yeah, be reasonable if you were a resident of that state. And what they're going to do is each one of these management areas has a specific number of wolves that can be harvested. And once that number is reached, then the season's over in that area. And what you have to do if you actually harvest a wolf, you have to call the State Department of Game and Fish and report it and take it in, have it checked, tagged, and all that kind of good stuff. So that way they can keep track of how many of them are actually harvested in each area. And then once, like I said, once they reach that limit, season's over with. And they said in the season, if they don't reach that number that they want to be taken, they may actually consider extending it and let them hunt some more. But they figure what people are going to do is buy that license and go out, and if they're, elk hunting or mule deer hunting or whatever, that if they see one, then they'll have a tag and they can shoot it. So,
yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think it'd be pretty cool.
Think it'd be
kind of
neat.
Pretty wild.
Shoot a wolf.
Yeah. Something
that can hunt you back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're allowed to bait or anything.
No, that was one of the regulations. You couldn't bait them. And we'd mentioned this on the show, too, before. Radio collar tracking devices. If they catch you one of those, you're busted, too.
Do they have radio collars on them?
Some of them do. How they'll put a collar on them and they'll track them. The DNR will, do tests on them, stuff like that. When they find, they'll use their little beeper thing. They'll find them. Then they'll tranquilize them and then take blood samples and all that kind of stuff to do all the biological workup on them. So they said if they catch you with a tracking device, you're toast. So no baiting and no tracking with electronic device anyway. So, but that's it. That's all I got for news of the week.
Yeah.
So
you want part of the show?
You want to take it the best part of the show?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, now the best part of the show, Mikey's game bag. Okay, so this week on Mikey's Game Bag, I'm going to be talking about how I finished up the groundhog finally after an extra week that I didn't mess with it.
Yeah, you let them lay out there on the board and take an extra week of drying.
About as stiff as the board now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to be talking about starting some fly fishing up soon.
You're going to get the old rod and reel out, huh?
Yeah.
The fly rod anyway? Okay.
Yeah, I'll start tying some more flies. Anyways, about the groundhog, I finally did get it off, and it's probably about as stiff as that board. I had to bend it a little bit just to get it to move around a little bit.
Okay.
But, I got all the preservative and stuff off of it.
How did you do that? I mean, did you just shake it off? Did it just fall off?
Some of it did. I kind of rubbed some of it off with my hand, but a lot of it I had to use an old toothbrush.
Okay, what kind of preservative did you put on it?
Actually, I put borax on it.
Okay, where can you get that at?
Probably in a taxidermy shop, and I think he said you can just buy it like at a Walmart or something.
Yeah.
Even though we're not shopping there anymore.
No. No, go back a couple episodes and you'll figure out why we're not shopping there either.
Your local store, yes.
Yeah, you can buy borax in a box.
Yeah.
And you just sprinkle that on the hide.
All over it, and then if you have blood spots on it, you can put it on there, and it will get the blood out of it, too.
Okay.
On the other side.
And how do you get that off? 'Cause that's obviously on the fur.
Yeah, I kind of used a little bit of I used a toothbrush.
Okay.
And I rubbed it out with my hand, and then I smoothed it out with a comb or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of fluffed it up a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm thinking about washing it, but I have to talk to Bill first.
You got to talk to our taxidermist and see what he recommends as far as doing a little bit of final cleaning on it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, where is he at right now?
Oh, he's on my wall above my fly desk.
Bill or the hide?
Oh, the hide.
I knew what you was talking about. I just had to throw that at you. So, yeah, he's all spread out on the wall. Yeah, we got to give him a call and see what's going on with him. Matter of fact, I got to get my coyote skull from him, too. He still got that. He got it finished up. Got to go and pick it up.
Yeah.
So, okay, now what about fly fishing here?
Probably now is the time to start if you guys have got stuff. And the panfish, they're actually starting to move pretty good. Yeah? Yeah, as of today, we caught about 20.
Yeah,
all of us together. And actually, I'm thinking about trying to talk Mom and Michael Gregory's mom to letting us go Friday or something over there back to the mill pond so we can fly fish up there in the river.
What are you going to use for bait? I mean, what kind of fly are you going to use?
I don't know. I'll probably use a fake worm or topwater foam or something like that.
One of your little popper bugs you've been tying? Okay.
Yeah, they're hitting some top waters pretty hard.
Are they?
Yeah.
What'd you guys use today?
Oh, we were just using night crawlers with a bobber.
Okay, just some basic hardcore pan fishing, huh?
Yeah, I haven't used a bobber in a long time.
Yeah. Okay, so you got to get out there and get that old fly rod casting down. Have you been practicing any of that at all?
I haven't practiced in a while, but last time I practiced, I was doing pretty good.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. Get out there and get a little action on the old fly reel. I got to check that out because I've never fished. I've never fished with a fly rod before. Never fished before. Never fished with a fly rod before. So, who knows, man? Maybe I'll pick one up this year and try it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So, is that it for the game bag this week?
Yeah, it kind of sloughed off.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You got out and did more than I did this week. You did some fishing today.
Actually, I got out there at about 9, and I just got back about an hour ago.
Yeah, you spent most of the day out there on the water. So, now you guys were bank fishing, right?
Yeah, bank fishing.
Okay, you weren't in a boat or anything like that?
No, actually, I walked out in the water a little bit.
Did you?
Yeah, it was pretty cold.
Was it?
Yeah, their mom was yelling at me. She's like, get back in here. Everyone's wearing sweatshirts, and I'm in a T-shirt and shorts.
It was pretty chilly this morning. So
I don't mind the cold, though.
Well, you talked about the groundhog. I almost hate to admit this, but was it yesterday?
I know it was late.
Yeah, I got the call that old Mama Coyote, she yelled at me, groundhog's out. So I jumped up and grabbed the varmint rifle and got into position, and I missed. I don't know how I did it. I could have swore I hit that thing. I either pulled a shot or I grazed it and it jumped back down in the hole. Actually, I thought it fell off a stump when I hit it. I really thought it went over. And I sent Jacob out to go grab it. I was like, go get that thing, Go grab him by the leg and drag him over the fence here,
Maybe he was just afraid to pick it up.
No, I went out there. He's looking around. He's like, I can't find it, Dad. It's not here, I'm like, all right. So I trudged out there and looked around, stomped the field down. Nowhere to be found.
See any blood?
Nope, not a bit. So I don't know. I just think I missed. I think I pulled a shot for whatever reason. I mean, that's a long shot through there. Yeah. So, I don't know. I just need to practice shooting more, I guess.
You usually fold them things.
Yeah, well, that one folded right over back into his hole and took off. So, but
what was that? See ya.
I'm gonna put the smack down on one here. If he comes back out, he might get me again, but I guarantee you, in the end, I'll win. So, I hate them little things, man. They've got that field tore up back there pretty good too. Yeah. There's holes all over the place. I mean, you got to watch walking through there. You twist an ankle real easy. So, but hey. Can't be a crack shot all the time, I guess. Yeah. You got to miss every now and then. That's why they call it hunting instead of shooting. Because if you could just shoot them every time, it wouldn't be fun. So they get the upper hand every now and then. So, but anyway, that was my big excitement for yesterday morning, seeing how I missed my turkey hunt. So I want to kind of go back just a little bit. We talked there in the middle segment of the show about views of hunting and things like that, in the way we were perceived. Last week I talked about an email I received from a guy named Jim over in Sweden. And he emailed me back this week on a couple questions that I had. And first I want to talk about the one thing he had mentioned, we talked about how they had professional hunters or pro hunters over there, and how they were allowed to actually own more than the 6 firearms if they were classified as a pro hunter. And I asked what that meant. What was a pro hunter? And he said that they're people that work as a hunter. They take care of the wildlife. They help manage wildlife. They hunt predators in the area, and they work real hard in making sure that the area's habitat is suitable for the animals in that area, maintaining habitat for them. And they also organize and sell hunts. So I guess the way I envision it is kind of like a hunting conservation officer would be. We kind of put a hunter and a conservation officer together, and I guess that's what you kind of get as a professional hunter in Sweden.
Kind of sounds like we would be classified as one.
Who, us?
Yeah.
Well, we're not a conservation officer. Yeah. But, of course, conservation officers here, they help manage the wildlife and protect it and protect the habitat and all that, but they also enforce game laws. And I don't think, it doesn't sound like anyway, that professional hunters in Sweden do that. He didn't allude to that fact, so. But, it's just different, like we talked last week, it's a different way of, different in how different countries take care of their animals and their wildlife and how they perceive hunting. And when I talked about getting back to how people perceive hunters and things like that, he's talking in here about the authorities who manage their wildlife and enforce the game laws, that they're actually now considering a bow hunt in Sweden. Right now it's outlawed. You can't hunt with a bow or a muzzleloader in Sweden. And he said, so maybe we can hunt with bows in the near future. He said, but if they do, the cases may only be small game or roe deer at the beginning, if they allow them to use bows to hunt with. He said, but right now, there are a lot of hunters that say they don't like bow hunting and they're opposed to it. And he says that might be because of their lack of knowledge about bow hunting. He said they really don't have a background or a history of bow hunting in that country, so people are opposed to it maybe because they don't know it or know how to do it. And I got to thinking this week, and I got to talking with a couple other guys on the internet about this, and I think maybe, and this is all going back to how we're perceived and things that we put out there and the way we show people how we do things. All of our hunting shows are on TV. What do we see? We see the big game hunter. He's loading up, he heads out to the woods. Next thing you know, he's in the tree stand, he's doing his deer grunt, and here comes deer, Next thing you know, wham, he shoots a deer, and he's down, they take a picture of him with his big buck, and that's the end of the show. They don't show him missing, they don't show him how to set up their stand, they don't show them how they go about figuring out where to hunt. All of our shows that we see on TV right now seem to be, go out, shoot the animal, we're done, look at us, yay, we got meat in the freezer, got a big trophy on the wall. And I think that's where we as hunters need to either step up or speak out against stuff like this. I want to see a guy who misses an animal. I want to see his reaction. I want to see how hard he busted his butt to get out in the woods to where he's at. I want to see how hard he busted his butt to figure out where that animal is coming through. Show me how he did it. Show me how he figured out where that deer was going to come through at, or what time he knows how that deer's coming through in the morning or the evening. Show me how he figures out where the bedding area is or where the food source is. You know what I'm saying? There's different ways that like you and I, we cyber scout. We'll use topography maps. We'll use Google Earth on the area we're going to hunt and try to figure out where some funnels and things like that are. And that's what hunting's about. It's not about sitting there watching a 5-minute video of a guy shooting a deer and then, posing with it. It's about everything that goes into that, up to that point.
I have seen some shows a while ago, but they're smaller known shows that do that.
Exactly.
But it's like 3 episodes long or something because it can only have like a half-an-hour show. But
see, that's it. Yeah. A hunt is not a half hour. That's what I'm talking about. And I think maybe, like Jim's talking about in Sweden, maybe they're opposed to bow hunting because that's what they see. They've never experienced it. So how do you know if you like something or you dislike it, and how do you form an opinion about it? It's by what you hear and by what you see, okay? And if that's what they're seeing, if they're seeing the same thing that we're seeing here on our TV, and that's the only thing they have to form an opinion on, I don't know if I'd like it either. There's much more to it than that. There's a lot more to bow hunting than that. Show me all the practice time that you put in. You and I know how much practice we put into it.
Yeah.
And tuning your bows.
You put in a lot more than me, though.
But still, you know how aggravating it can be when you get out there and you're shooting and all of a sudden you're off for whatever reason.
Like me.
There's a lot of things that go into bow hunting that people never, ever, ever see. And if that's what the guys in Sweden are seeing, then yeah, I can see why. So maybe we need to show more of the other aspects of the hunt, not just the taking of the animal. Show me the practice. Show me how long you got to practice to get good. Different techniques of practicing, how to set up a tree stand, how to scout, things of that nature. There's, like I said, there's just a lot more that goes into it than meets the eye, and I think that our media out there does us a disservice by portraying hunters as a guy who just goes out and whacks an animal, drags it back home. That's not what it's about. And I get tired of seeing that. I mean, how many times have I told you we'd be sitting there watching a show, it's like, that's a nice buck, but I've seen this 100 times. He's going to shoot. Oh, yep, he shot it. Okay, now he's going to go pose with it. Give me something different. Show me something different. And that's kind of where we started our whole podcast from.
Yeah.
Remember how we talked about we got tired of seeing
seeing
the pro hunters, the professional hunters go out and sponsored hunters go out and do their thing, and that's kind of where we're at with our show. We want to put information out there and encourage people to get out, especially young kids, new hunters, and just try to help people along, share a little of our experiences with them. So,
yeah, I wonder if they see stuff on about a month back. Did you ever see that story you guys did on your news about the archery guy?
The paraplegic guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if they see stuff like that over there.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Well, what kind of worried about, what was weird about that interview was the guy, he said how good he was, and he goes, so how lethal is this weapon? Just right off the bat. The anchor.
Oh, our reporter in the field?
Yeah.
I didn't even pick up on that.
No, he asked it.
It's not about the lethality of anything can be lethal.
And it was a competition shooting bow.
Yeah, it was a target bow.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, he was going to the Paralympics.
Yeah.
He was representing the United States.
And he lose his leg.
He lost one leg, and he's on an artificial limb. And sometimes they show people shooting from wheelchairs or standing with an artificial limb, and that's the category he falls in. And that was part of his rehabilitation, he said, and that's how he learned how to shoot. You don't have to be a hunter to be an archer. But yeah, for a reporter to ask how lethal is this weapon, that's just irresponsible. That once again going back and just showing how ignorant the media is and what they portray. And that's why we need to step up and voice our opinion. And I do that every day at work, believe me. They get tired of hearing me start spewing off my rhetoric about, pro hunting, pro fishing, pro outdoors. And, I hammer them every chance I get because I'm tired of people portraying our activity as being either wrong or misrepresenting our activity, and giving bad information. So,
well, knowing you, they're going to have to deal with it.
Yes, they do. They deal with it on a daily basis because I am very opinionated and I let them know exactly how I feel. So, but speaking of being opinionated and getting our points across and all that, I know there's probably some of you guys out there who don't totally agree with everything we say and everything we do. And if you don't, I encourage you, please write us. Let us know. And if you do agree with us, let us know. We're always open for discussion, and that's how we further along the cause of hunting and fishing and outdoors, is by talking and getting ideas and working things out. If you guys have got a really good idea, shoot it along so we can pass it along to other guys, and help further the cause along. But, you can go to our website, upnorthjournal.com, and it's got all of our other blog sites on there that we write for, and it's got our videos on there that we do, and our email address is on there. Mine's Michael Adams at upnorthjournal.com, and yours is?
Mikey's Game Bag at upnorthjournal.com.
Mikey's Game Bag.
I don't know why I keep getting your stuff, though.
I don't know. I'll have to figure that out sometime. But anyway, it still gets to us either way.
Yeah, I just forward it to you.
Yeah, so, shoot it along to us and let us know what's going on, And speaking of websites, we're hooked up with a guy down in Ohio who is pushing the podcast for us. Got a really cool website, and that is myhuntingandfishing.com. So go over there and check out his website. I'm sure he'd really appreciate it. It's kind of like a Camo Space type thing. And we're on there as well. We're at Camo Space. We're over there listed as Up North Journal. So you can check us out there and talk back and forth. And the last one that I want to mention is myoutdoortv.com. They don't have us listed yet, but I did send them the information this week, and hopefully this week we'll be up there on that website as well. So things are moving and shaking. We talked with the guys out at Bowcast, talked with Neil Roney this week. That cat's just cool. I could sit and talk to guys like that for hours upon hours, and we had a really good conversation. If you guys are into hardcore archery and you got some tech stuff that you want to ask, that's the place to go ask it over there. They got a really good forum over there, nice little chat forum you can get on and get some questions answered. So
now the guy you talk to, is he the one that actually does it, or is he the one that's on the phone?
He's the one that kind of heads it up there. Yeah, it's his.
Okay, so he's not the guy that talks on the phone.
No, that's Anthony Dixon.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Neil Roney. This is the other guy. I think Anthony's the one that's got the mohawk. Yeah, you look on their blog site.
Sounds like he has a mohawk.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool dude. Both of them are cool guys. We had a really good discussion, exchanged some good ideas and information, and we're going to help each other out here, promoting each other's stuff. So, like I said, I just want you to go over there. If you guys are into some hardcore archery stuff, those guys are where it's at. So, check it out. Speaking of archery, and we're doing the deal with the broadhead testing, and hopefully the youth bow test that we're going to do. What I want to know from you guys, the listeners out there, what are some of the things that you look for or you want to know when we're doing these tests? What's important to you as far as broadheads go? What's important to you as far as youth bows go? What would you like to know? And if there's any way possible that we can find out and test it and answer that question for you, I want to know about it. Let us know so we can do it. So shoot us an email and let us know what you're looking at, okay? Now, remember at the beginning of the show when I mentioned something about waterfowl?
Yeah.
That's what I want to end the show on today. What are we going to do in 2 weeks? Actually, wait a minute. 2 weeks? 3 weeks. 3 weeks from today. 3 weeks from yesterday.
Has to do with geese, doesn't it?
Yep.
Goose banding.
We're going to partake in our first ever goose banding. We're going to go down into the southeastern part of Michigan. Actually, I believe it's down south of Detroit, down to a state game area down there on Lake Erie. And the DNR asked one of the outdoor sports forums that I belong to and that you belong to, they asked for a group of us guys to come down and help them to capture some geese and band them. So we are going to partake in a goose banding party.
Yeah.
I'm going to take down the camera. Going to take down the video camera also. And I have no idea what to expect.
Are they just going to be doing goslings, or?
I don't know. I have no idea what we're going to do.
It'd be pretty embarrassing to see my butt get kicked by a goose. Trying to grab it.
I imagine that's what they're going to do is the goslings. I would imagine that's what they do, unless they're going to net a bunch of them. And in that case, I don't know. Man, things get nasty, I think, don't they? So, I don't know. This is going to be a totally new experience for you and me. We're going to take Jake along with us, and our buddy Chuck's going with us. So
my waders.
There's going to be 4 of us going to go, and I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Come back with scars all over.
I don't know. It's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be cool. So it's going to be like a half-day event. We got to get down there, I think, at 6 in the morning, and they said we'd be done by noon. But
are they doing it like on the shore?
I don't know how they're going to do it. I have no idea.
I've seen them do it at golf courses sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I saw that, and I asked you, would you like to do it? And you're like, yeah. So. And
then you asked Chuck, and he's like, yeah.
Yeah. Duh. What do you think, man? So. Yeah, I thought it'd be cool. I think it's going to be really educational, number one. And how cool would it be if you knew a couple years down the road, if you shot a goose and it was one that you banded or helped to band? Wouldn't that be cool?
That'd be cool.
That would be really cool. So, I don't know.
I feel weird, but...
Huh?
Kind of feel weird.
Yeah, it's like, I knew you and you're just a little bitty thing. So, but I think it's going to be really educational, and that's the whole thing. I want, we always take. we take from nature. We go out and we harvest these animals. We need to give back, and this is one way I want to give back, is by going and helping the DNR do their banding study and band some geese, and it's going to help them out. They're going to use it for tracking purposes, for biological reasons, and all that other kind of stuff that they do. A lot of information comes out of that program. And earlier this year, you put out 2 wood duck boxes.
Yeah.
Giving back to nature. That's what it's all about. See, all of us hunters, we're not bad guys. We're really good guys, and we contribute, and that's what we need to do. And we need to just spread that word. We need to let people know that we're not out about whacking and stacking, as they say.
I helped
some people
contribute yesterday afternoon.
What'd you do?
Save that chipmunk.
Yeah, you released a chipmunk from a drain tube.
Yeah, the dogs pinned it in a drain pipe and crimped the ends on it. Stayed in there for 2 days.
Yeah, so, you freed the little bugger.
Yeah.
Now he's probably digging underneath the back shed back there, thanks to you.
Probably.
But, hey, at least he didn't suffer in there, so.
We poured some water in there, and he started drinking it like crazy.
Well, you got anything else this week?
No.
For a not-so-active week, we had quite a bit to talk about. That's pretty good. We try to stay up on stuff and get out as much as we can, but this time of year it seems to get a little tougher with hunting season being done.
Going into fishing.
Yeah, work picks up for me doing outdoor work, but
yeah.
We're going to remember the archery event this weekend, guys. If you're in the Michigan area, go to Lansing, Gander Mountain. It's just going to be this huge outdoor archery event. And with 100 vendors in the area, I don't see how you can go wrong by showing up for an event like that. Not only that, bring your gear along, man. They've got a 3D archery shooting, and I want to tear up some targets. I'm looking forward to it.
I don't know if I'm going to have any luck because I got a new sight for mine.
Well, you know what? With the vendors there, we might be able to find something that we can put on that bow and get it set up for you.
Or a bow.
Yeah. So, we'll find out something for you and try to get you set up. And also, I've got one last thing: the new indoor range that I'm shooting at Monday.
Yeah. Up
there around the corner from work. So I'm going to check that out again. And they've actually got a tic-tac-toe shoot coming up on the 22nd that we're going to
go to that.
Yep, that's going to be the day after the ducks. Or the geese, I mean.
It's going to be funny when I miss.
What's that?
When I miss a square.
Oh, tic-tac-toe? Well, hey, that's what it's all about, Get up there and do what you can and see if you can advance to the next round. So,
yeah.
But they told me if they get enough people, they're actually going to have a youth division. So you might be able to get into the youth division instead of having to shoot against all the adults. So we'll see what happens. But if you got any questions about the archery event in Lansing, email me, and I'll get you some more information on it. And if you're interested, if you're in the area and you're interested about the indoor 3D archery range in Flint, Michigan, let me know, and I'll get you the information on that also. So just give us a shout out. But that's all I got for the week. You got anything else?
No.
All right. Well, listen, until next week, hopefully we'll be back from the archery event and have some good news for you. Have a lot of information, I hope. It may be an archery-only episode. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But until next week, as we say here at the Up North Journal, if you're out on the water or in the woods, shoot straight and be safe. Until the next time on the Up North Journal.